Hi, I'm Oba Babatunde.
Hi, I'm Keith Young.
What's up? I'm Eric B. Anthony.
Hi, I'm Jacques C. Smith.
Hello, I'm Roja Leo Douglas Jr.
Good evening. I'm Rin Troy Brown, and I'm the founder and producer of Ebony Repertory Theater, and we are the company of 5 guys named Mo.
People often ask me, Oba, was there support in your community or was there support from your family? I had a great deal of support from my family, but it didn't necessarily have to do with theater. It had to do with the way we were reared, the way we were meant to understand the value of who we were. Understanding also that through the industry of entertainment, that you had the opportunity to be able to influence through entertainment, enlighten, inspire, encourage, as well as represent an entire people.
The person who influenced me the most in my life, growing up in Baltimore, Maryland, was my mother, Wyvon Lawson. She was a single mother, and she always encouraged me to follow my dreams. I grew up performing at the Arena Players Youth Theater, which was the oldest African-American community theater in Baltimore, and she paid for every class I ever took from the age of 7 to when I graduated high school at 18, and she let me decide to go to Broadway instead of going to college because she believed in my gift and she believed in my dreams, and she always believed in my dreams. And I'm here today in Los Angeles, California, living my dreams because of my mother.
And I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, specifically a suburb of Chicago, Harvey, Illinois. And the theater support that was most prominent in that community were the public schools. And they served as a great foundation for not only my academic education, but also my artistic education, which is why I'm still such a huge believer in public schools today, because I'm a product of them. And as a result of that, my parents also influenced me, but those two things, in terms of where I grew up, were the most influential artistic influences. Redundant.
Love that. My name is Roja Leo Douglas Jr. I am from Brooklyn, New York. I am of Panamanian descent. My parents were, my mother is the one who definitely supported me the most in supporting my endeavors into theater. And my father, not so much of a supporter. He's a fan now, but he wasn't a supporter in the beginning. He definitely was not. But, you know, I got my education not only through public schools, but as well as Catholic churches in New York. And I used to go and audition and I'd be at St. Simon and Jude, and then over at, you know, like just different churches in Brooklyn, New York that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for all of those experiences. And, you know, some of my idols just happened to be Sammy Davis Jr. He was the first person I had seen that I wanted to emulate. And, you know, he led me definitely to Gregory Hines, and then to Gene Kelly, and then to Fred Astaire, and that's where I found my passion. So I'm grateful that I get to live out my dreams now.
My name is Rin Troy Brown. As I stated earlier, I'm the founder and producing artistic director of the Ebony Repertory Theater. The influences on my life: my father, my grandfathers both, my grandmothers both, my great-grandfather. I have the great good fortune of being a 4th-generation theatrical. My great-grandfather was a multi-instrumentalist and educator of music. All of his children were musicians and artists and dancers. Both of my grandmothers were Cotton Club dancers. My father's father was the 5th Black Actor in Screen Actors Guild, and my mother's father was the first black staff musician in the history of Hollywood, Columbia Pictures, 1946. So I am steeped within my bloodstream of people who absolutely encouraged through their example, but most particularly, they always promoted the notion of being prepared. My grandfather was just the greatest thing. Every hero I've ever had came out of a book, save my grandfather. He was my living hero, and he talked about preparation being the key. So yes.
My name is Keith Young, and the person I was most influenced by was my mother, who simply said, "Do your part." And I've been trying to do that ever since.
There was a lady, her name is Alma Smith. Probably not known to many people other than her family, and now as I speak of her. She was my next door neighbor, my best friend growing up's mom. One day I was having a very difficult day in school, and my head was hanging down. And she put my chin in her hand, lifted it up, looked into my eyes, and said, "It's going to be okay because you're special." For whatever the reason was, I heard her and I believed her. And therefore, I suggest to anyone that we all can be an Alma Smith in someone's life.
Wonderful. They say that Los Angeles is a tough theater town. Well, I will tell you this, the narrative has been, from the time of the silent pictures until the transition into talkies in 1929, that this was the film capital of the world. So the narrative has been promoted historically that film was the real thing that happened in Los Angeles. And then with the advent of television, that became the secondary piece. But we must understand that theater has always been germane to the cultural success of Los Angeles. I am a fourth generation Angelino. My great-grandmother was born here in 1890. Her parents married here in 1882, and I was born here in 1964. And I have been positively, concussively impacted by the extraordinary theater that I've seen in this city in my life, the wonderful venues, and the rich history and tradition of great theater, not substandard theater, not theater that someone could look askance at, but theater that would represent anyone well and would cause you to feel proud, either playing the show itself or being a repository as an audience. So Los Angeles is a town that is moving more deeply into the narrative of promoting theater. And the reason that I founded the Ebony Repertory Theater was because I felt it was a necessity to add to the cultural dynamism of Los Angeles through presenting the kind of work that we do.
Someone might ask, why would one choose a theater or theatrical career in theater as opposed to film and television? One of the things that I've noticed that's really wonderful about Los Angeles or any place else on the planet, where there is an artist, wherever you are, whether you're doing it on stage, whether you're doing it in film or on television, it's the artistry that you're representing. And that comes from something which I believe chooses you. Artists, I believe, are special people. Not special people, but individuals who have been given the good graces of a talent. The talent to be able to transform someone's life by something that they do on stage or film or television. So I'm not certain that one could categorize themselves as a theater actor or a theater designer. I think we're artists, and we bring to the art that is which is our best. And the venue is simply the venue. There is no superior ethic to any particular venue, in my opinion, because that's where it's happening. And the beautiful thing about art is that it is the universal transcendental language.